Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for Rogue Actions. It has been a hot minute, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. Welcome back. We missed you. At least I did. I don't know about Shawka.
Where am I right now? This is like some magical place I haven't been in forever.
Right? It's been what, 5 months?
Yeah, 5 months.
About 5 months for you? Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long time, sir. It is good to be back, though, guys. Welcome back, everybody.
It's great to be back. I have missed everybody. We hope to be bringing this out more regularly now. Now that lives have kind of slowed down. I'm not going to go into details, obviously, here as to what's going on. I cannot talk about it, nor will I right now. Neither can Shawka. He has put it out on his streams. I will put out what I have put out. But we have time now. We're back. Life has slowed down enough. And so we're here to bring you, not good Swiggo content, because that's not what we do. But we're bringing you Swiggo content for this fine Monday morning.
As I like to say, we tell you what not to do here, guys.
Yes.
That's our goal.
Yes. Do as we say, not as we do. More or less, just don't listen to us at all, because it's never good advice. That being said, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff over on my channel. Part 1 over here, part 2 over on Shawka's channel as well. So you're not gonna miss a thing. He's got some. Actually, I think this is the first video since you got monetized.
Yeah.
That we've done Rogue Actions on, right?
Yeah. So I got monetized like right before my real life stuff hit the fan, and so we actually have not done a Rogue Actions. So it's kind of crazy. Like, we worked that hard to get it, and then poof. But hey, we are back, and that's all that matters, guys. All that matters. Good to be back. Good to see y'all again. Star Wars, which I love.
So it's been a long time coming. Long time coming. Man, I missed everybody. That being said, we're gonna start out, of course, with the mini meme of the week, and that's not the mini meme. It wouldn't be a hiccup without, it wouldn't be a Ram Bam stream without a hiccup, or anything associated with me at all.
Let's be honest, we're lucky we made it this far already.
Oh, Jesus, right? Facts. All right, so the mini meme, I saw this courtesy of Rogue in my Discord. Now, before we go into the memes, of course, you guys know we pick memes from my Discord server. You guys can go into my Discord. You'll see a meme submission where you can now go and post in more memes that me and Shawka will vote on prior to recording. Maybe some fun stuff coming in the near future as far as that goes as well. Stay tuned for that. But this week's winner, of course, was Rogue. And I saw this, and I thought it was a good talking point, and Shawka agreed. You have your, typical guy getting awarded a medal, making sure it's good, popping open champagne, saying, yeah, screw everybody else. We got all this going. We're the best. As everybody else looks down on him and realizes that they are actually the best. The originals, the prequels, Rogue One, Andor, the Ewok movies, and the holiday special. And then you have the Acolyte. Fun fact, I have not seen the Acolyte yet.
You might be the smartest person in the world, Ram. I didn't think I'd ever say that, guys. I really didn't.
So I've been told.
You might be the smartest person in the world. You have more brain cells because you did not watch that show.
I did not hear anything good about it. The good thing that I heard about it died in like the first 10 minutes, apparently.
I would say the only decent thing about it was the actual choreography. The actual choreography of the battles were good. They were solid. To some degree, like the effects and things like that were pretty good on the show. I mean, it had to be. They spent a crap ton of money on it. Something has to be good. But yeah, outside of that, it was pretty terrible. Like one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Oof.
Far away. Hey, well, by the way, sorry. The Acolyte's one thing to discuss on this. I have another thing I'm going to throw. There's something wrong with that podium. Rogue One should be above the prequels.
No!
Yes.
No, I will ban you off of this chat. All right. Anybody know another co-host that I can get? Oh my God, his rankings. Shawka is infamous for his horrible rankings, and yeah, you just chalked up another one. No, I'm sorry. Prequel, Rogue One, amazing movie. Prequels are still better. 100%.
I would actually argue to some degree Rogue One should be above the originals because Rogue One is better than A New Hope and better than Return of the Jedi. It's not better than Empire Strikes Back, but that means it's, better than 2/3 of the originals. So
now here's something funny on this one though. Something I just realized. We're missing the sequel trilogy on here. So where would you, being the tier ranking master that you are, where would you put the sequel trilogy in between all this?
It doesn't exist, so I can't rank it.
There you go. You heard it here first, guys. Oh, man.
I'm 100% serious too, guys. 100%.
Oh, jeez. I don't even know what to say about that one.
Get wrecked. There you go. Get wrecked, Ruin Johnson.
Dead. And JJ. Although I did like JJ a little bit. I liked Force Awakens. The other two were crap.
It was a total carbon copy, but I'll accept a carbon copy of something that was really good. I'm okay with that.
Facts. Alrighty. Moving on. We've had some stuff happen in the last 3 to 5 months this week. I don't know if you've been keeping track of that. I know I haven't. So, when I came back to Swiggo, I was like, holy news, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I don't know anything that's happening. And so one of the main things I looked at, and I was like, this will be really interesting to see how they kind of bring it out and incorporate it into the game, was the Mercs with the mouse in honor of Deadpool. All these guys do have mouse, can confirm. Actually, L3 doesn't have a mouse, so that actually is incorrect, I think, right?
Speaking of great movies, Deadpool Wolverine, go see it, guys, if you haven't.
Yes. Amazing.
Yes. Totally the opposite of The Acolyte.
Well worth your money. I went twice.
It's not the only time you've gone twice.
Oh, whoa. Hey, look. Anyway. I mean, shirtless Wolverine. Okay, calm down. Hugh Jackman. Damn. The Aussies do something right. All right. Anyways, before we get completely derailed, too late. Now they brought out a mercenary tag, or they are bringing out a mercenary tag rather, and they're gonna have something called a Soldier of Fortune effect. It's a blue status effect. They have different interactions with various characters in that faction. But the people in here, listen to some of these heavy hitters, right? You got Baylan Skoll, obviously new character coming out. You got Boba Fett, Signer Django. You got Cad Bane, Candace Ordo, Cara Dune, Dash Rendar, Dangar, Dr. Aphra, Embo, Fennec Shan, Han Solo, Hondo, my man, Jango Fett, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. That's an interesting one. We will circle back to that one in a second. Chrysanthemum, Cal Katarn, L337 Merrick, another new character coming out. Mission Veo, Kira, Sanastaro, Shin Hati, another new one. Beskar Mando, Vandor Chewbacca, Vet Han, Young Lando, Zalbar, and Zam. That's a huge faction being brought out. Some of the highlights I want to circle back on and kind of get your thoughts on, Shawka. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis being in a mercenary faction. I don't really understand Jedi Knight Cal Kestis being in there. Cal Kestis, sure, but Cal Kestis is not in here, right? I'm not, unless I just missed him. He's not in here. It's Jedi Knight Cal Kestis that's in here. Why is that?
So I'll be honest with you. I actually didn't know that this was out yet. When you popped up on the screen, I was like, oh, I've not seen this before. So I have it up on the forums. I don't understand why he would be on the list. I'm trying to rack my brains why he would be. I mean, I don't think it's been a while since I played the game, but I don't think you accepted you accept missions, I guess, to some degree, but maybe that's the only thing I could think of is maybe they're saying because you accepted certain missions like side quests and stuff, maybe he's a mercenary. But I feel like that's a bit of a stretch, especially for Jedi Knight Cal to have it, but not baby Cal. Like
Right.
that, I don't understand their logic on that one.
Yeah. I mean, and their explanation of the tag is, unlike bounty hunters who are paid in to bring a specific target, mercenaries are paid to perform a job, usually one or likely involving combat. So I mean, the differentiation I can understand, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of these, like, I mean, obviously the bounty hunters make sense to be mercenaries as well, because they rotate one and the same. Baylan Skull, Shin Hati, if you guys have not seen Ahsoka, clearly they're mercenaries. That one makes sense as well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Bam, that makes sense. You know, the young Lando, Kira, young Han, Vandor, those guys, they all make sense. Old Republic, those make sense. Hondo is the absolute most fitting on this entire thing to be the mercenary, so that one completely understand. But yeah, Jedi Cal Kestis is kind of stuck out, like, why?
Yeah, like I said, I can kind of see how. So if it's you completing jobs for people, I get that, because you do complete different jobs and missions and things like that in the game. But again, I don't see how Cal Kestis would not be included in that scenario, unless their reasoning is that Jedi Fallen Order was so linear that there weren't enough side quests for you to complete. It was just you going on a main mission, versus Jedi Survivor, there were more, wasn't quite as Fallen Order was. But even then, I feel like that's really kind of stretching the limit there in definition of side quests and or completing missions and things like that. It almost makes me wonder if they're doing this because they don't want certain factions to overlap. Like, they don't want an UFU Cal Kestis to have a mercenary tag for reasons that we don't know yet why they would be. You know, like an interaction, something like that. I could see a situation where there's interactions that they don't want to occur between Cal Kestis that they're okay with Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. That's probably the best guess I can come up with.
And maybe it's just a balancing issue with, like, because Seer's not on the list either, so. Okay.
I'm willing to bet it is not so much about a lore perspective as much as it is they don't want kits to overlap in that UFU squad in particular.
That UFU squad is nasty.
Yeah, because, like, so for instance, is Starkiller? No, Starkiller is not on the list. Malicos?
Nope.
No. Yeah, so like a lot of those UFU characters are not on here.
I don't see any UFUs on here, actually.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's very intentional from a kit standpoint.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Because even like Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, you could argue that she completes side missions and things like that. Whether she got paid or not is debatable, but I would think, realistically speaking, she's probably getting something from the rebellion. You know, if she completes some kind of a thing, they're going to give her something. You know what I mean? Like, I get that she's serving the rebellion, but I think you could argue she is a mercenary as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that they're not including any UFUs, I think they are intentionally trying to keep UFUs from being involved in this tag. That's got to be what it is.
Which makes me wonder, okay, so does that mean Baylan Skull, Shin Hati, and Merrick are not going to have the UFU tags now?
Oh, that's a good question.
If it's for balance reasons, it makes sense not to include the UFUs in the mercenary tag, but what do you do for Baylan Skull, Merrick, and Shin Hati, who, in my opinion, fell pretty closely on the unaligned Force user, because they're not Sith, but they're not Jedi either.
They probably can get away with that because if they don't have any other UFUs included in the mercenary tag, then they can code that so it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Like they could say, like, you know, adopt any other factions alignment except for UFUs or something like that. You know, I'm sure they could probably find a way. I guarantee you, it's related to they don't want certain kits to overlap with other kits. Which
makes sense. You gotta balance it. You can't have something be super crazy powerful.
Right.
I don't know. I'm excited for the mercenary tag. Obviously, this is one of the first things I'm seeing coming back to the game after a prolonged timeout. But I mean, you guys know I like my bounty hunters. I like anytime I get to kind of mess around with something other than a Jedi or a Sith. You know, Huck Cartel, bounty hunters, scoundrels. Those are always fun to do. You know, it's just something about having a blaster by your side. It's always nice.
Let me ask you this question real quick, Ram. So obviously the mercs are coming out because of Baylan, Shin, and Merrick,
right?
Or Marok. I'm not sure how you say his name. Do you foresee those three? Because again, we're assuming that's a core trio, and obviously in 3v3 they're a core three, but in fives, do you see that team throwing in 2 additional mercenaries, like for instance, Old Man Han, Old Man Chewie? Or do you see the merc tag being more where that trio is thrown in with another group of 2 that are the leaders, like for instance, JML and Jedi Knight Cal Kestis? Maybe you throw them in with that tag and they absorb the Jedi tag, and my God, that would be a disaster of a team. Put that together. Like, I'm intrigued as to how you think they're actually going to utilize the tag in the game, especially with that trio.
Dude, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. We'd have to. It's too early to tell right now. Really, we'd have to wait to see how the kits are when they come out before we can start kind of really thinking about who they're gonna go with, what factions they're gonna be able to pop in with, whatever. Because I mean, we've seen it before where they bring out a kit and it specifically says does not work with this character. And so, the last thing I want to say is, oh yeah, I think he'll work with, I don't know, the Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, just throwing out a name there. And then it specifically says in the kit, does not work with Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum. Well, damn, I was wrong. So it's kind of too early to tell. What I would like to see is just them be kind of plug and play, right? You have the core 3, and then, I mean, how many of us use, I don't know, Mission Zalbar on a regular basis, right? So plug in Mission Zalbar in there. There we go. Right now we have a solid team. Or young Han, young Lando, right? Just we have all these extra characters that we've had to farm up for other requirements, whatever. Give us a spot to use them. So what I'd like to see is this team be that spot to kind of use them in.
Yeah.
Give them a home.
I think I would prefer it that way versus the 3 be plugged in with an already existing team and replacing stuff. Like, so for instance, with JML, like, rather than having a JKL led team as another option and they plug in with JML, which by the way, I don't think that's going to happen, guys. I would rather see you be able to use these non-existent or non-usable characters, like you said. Mission, that makes a ton of sense. Mission and why am I blanking on his name?
Zalbar,
thank you. Yeah, that makes way more sense to me than the alternative, and throwing the 3 of them in with some pre-existing overpowered comp.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, I mean, how many duos are on this thing? Mission Zalbar, you've got
Vet Han, Vet Chewie. Well, actually, Vet Chewie's not on here.
Is he?
Vet Han is on here. Veteran Chewie is not on here.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, actually.
Pull out my sign. Why would he not be on here?
Huh? Yeah, I just noticed that. What the hell?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would Vet Chewie not be on there? I don't know.
Huh.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Maybe they just haven't released it yet.
Vandor Chewie's on there.
Yeah.
But also here's something to notice though. Regular Han Solo's on here, but not Chewbacca.
See, yeah, that was like a...
So what if it's something to do with Wookiees as well?
So
Vandor Chewbacca's on here, but Well, and Zalbar. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. Chrysanthemum's on there, and so it's not Wookiees. I don't know.
Fix your stuff, CG. Fix your list.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Man. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully they just haven't put out a full 100% list yet, because those are some egregious characters to not have on the list.
I don't know. Let us know down in the comments below what you guys think about the mercenary tag coming out, all the characters that are required, all the characters that seem to be missing from said mercenary tag. You know, come on, give Wookiees some love. Hashtag Wookiees need love too, okay? Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about Baylan versus Ahsoka. And not specifically the requirements, just more of which one should you go after, right? So Baylan's going to be an epic confrontation. Ahsoka's a GL. Me personally, I kind of want to go after Baylan more so than Ahsoka. Not because I don't like Ahsoka more, or because I think Baylan's going to be easier, but because it's Ray Stevenson, man. I don't even have to see a kit to know I want to go after Ray Stevenson. I want to go after Baylan Skoll because it's just such an awesome character, awesome impact from a great actor. Rest in peace. That's enough from me.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, everyone's answers I think going to be dependent on which character you like the best, probably. Like, so for me, it's Ahsoka. I've said before, Ahsoka is my #1 favorite character in all of Star Wars.
Sure.
So I'm going hard for her.
Yeah, you are.
Maybe getting hard too. Anyway, but also for me, at least in my situation, I only have 6 GLs, and I'm always facing people with 8. So like, I would not hate having another GL to balance out, you know, imbalance, if you will. So for me, I think it makes more sense for me to go for Ahsoka.
Because you don't have Leia, right?
Yeah, I don't have Leia, and I don't have Lord Vader.
That's why.
But let's take that part out of the equation. Okay, take out the who's your favorite character equation. Let me rephrase this. Which chase do you think is going to be more beneficial? So, for instance, obviously, Ahsoka is a self-contained character / team. So if you go for her, you're probably going to have the entire team as well. If you go for Baylan, I'm assuming, we don't have all of his recs yet, but I'm assuming that all of his stuff will be self-contained as well. I think one of the perks of Baylan is that you probably have some more flexibility, like we talked earlier in the mercenary tag, versus Ahsoka, there will be 0 flexibility. It's going to be the Spectre tag, and that's it. So without a favorite, Ram, which one do you think is actually going to be the more beneficial moving forward between the two?
I'm going to say Ahsoka.
Really?
And the reason why I would say Ahsoka is because Baylan's going to have the mercenary tag, maybe the Ufu tag, who knows, and he's probably going to be self-contained. But with Ahsoka, based on the requirements that we currently have, you're not only getting presumably Ahsoka's team, but you're also getting an Imperial Remnant team. You're also getting a Night Sister team. With Death Trooper Peridea and Night Trooper and Enoch.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You
right?
can make a team out of that, yeah.
Yeah. You can easily include both of them into a Night Sister team to boost up and change the dynamics of that. Right. They might not be as great if you don't farm, Great Mother and Elsbeth, right. But those 2 troopers are still going to be good, and then you can still plug them into an Imperial Remnant team to boost up a Gideon squad or something like that. Well, and GLs 9 times out of 10, we got to think, how impactful have all the GLs been versus the epic confrontations, right? We got Bo-Katan, she's good, but not super impactful. Gas and Malak are probably I'd say Gas is probably the most impactful out of the epic confrontations. I don't know if I see Baylan being as impactful as Gas versus a GL. I would say Gas deserves to be at a GL level with how impactful he's been in the game versus a GL.
See, I think that's an interesting debate. I would argue that Malak impact because he's more plug and play in my mind. But I think you raised an interesting point there, though, because
Gas is plug and play.
Sort of. He's plug and play with other Jedi and other Galactic Republic. But Lily, I can throw Malik in on a light side team and he won't die. Like,
that's fair.
He is literally plug and play.
Yep.
Gas is a little bit more of a restricted plug and play. Versus, though, I think you raised a good point here. Bo is like not plug and play at all. It's her team.
She's self-contained. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder if Baylan is going to be like that too. So obviously we talked about mercenary ability to it, but I think that's more about the tag than it is necessarily his kit. And obviously we don't know his kit yet. We don't know any of the stuff about that, but it seems like his stuff is going to be self-contained, kind of like Bo.
Yeah.
Which would, I think, limit that to some degree, like you said. I would have said the opposite. Said Baylan at first, because I feel like Baylan is, like an anti-meta type of thing where you can find something that works against a GL, like a Bo or Starkiller. Like, I love those characters. I love those characters that you can take into Gap and you can beat a GL with, even though you don't have a GL squad. Those are my favorite things in the game. So I imagine Baylan to be like that, but you raised a good point, because the shift with CG is now that those characters versus a GL where they're good in all game modes. So I think you have me convinced. I think I probably would go with Ahsoka, but I do worry because Ezra is GAC heavy. He's the first lifter, quote unquote, that we've had that now has GAC Omicrons. So I'm intrigued to see how much Ahsoka's team is limited in other game modes outside of GAC. I will be pretty upset if she's just terrible in TB. I want to take her into TB and be able to auto whatever I'm.
I don't see that being the case. I don't see that being the case. I think that, for every yes, we have a GL lifter with GAC Amis, but for every lifter that has GAC Amis, you have somebody in that team that has a TW Ami or a TB Ami or something like that offsets that. Think
Gungans are like that now.
Gungans or Fulcrum, right? Fulcrum and her team, you have GAC Amis in that team, but then you also have TB Amis, you also have TW Amis, and so the UFU squad is a good team. It's not a GL, but it's a good team to use in all areas of the game. So I think that might be the same case with Ahsoka. And again, a point I raise: name a GL that has not been impactful everywhere in the game. Even C has good uses. Is there better GLs to use in certain aspects? Absolutely. But they all have a very good use in the entirety of the game. So
that's a very good point. I had totally forgotten about that shift in making teams viable across all game modes, but you have to invest multiple
Amis to do so.
On multiple characters. Which, by the way, I actually like that. I think that it was a good idea on CG's part versus the Starkiller team that I would argue is only good in GAC. I know the Mara Jade makes it better in TW, but realistically, it's the Juhani Omicron that makes that team TW. Yeah. But even then, that team sucks in TV. It sucks in TV. It's only PvP content, and that's all.
Yeah.
So but I like that they are making these teams viable in all game modes if you invest enough. I think that's a good move. So yeah, good point on Ahsoka. Well, now I feel better about it. Woo.
There you go. So let us know down in the comments below what you guys think. Would you go after Baylan? Would you go after Ahsoka first? Do you think, who do you think is going to be more impactful in whatever game mode that you're trying to, use them for? Because I don't care about TW, so that means nothing to me. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Guys, we are not done with this Rogue Actions episode. Going over part 2 right now to watch Shawka and see how things go over there. You got to catch both episodes to get the full story. So we'll see you over there. Until next time, Squadron dismissed. Thanks, you guys.